All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into the incredible molecule that holds the blueprint for every living thing. Yep, the very code that makes you, you.
I mean, really, think about that for a second. How on earth does one tiny molecule hold every single instruction it takes to build something as complex, as detailed, as unique as you are? It sounds kind of like science fiction, doesn't it?
Well, the secret is right here. It's basically a giant instruction manual, a code that's 3 billion letters long, and it's tucked away inside almost every single one of the trillions of cells that make up your body.
Okay, so to even begin to wrap our heads around this, we've got to ask, how does it store all of that information? And what we find is a system that is just beautifully, elegantly simple.
So its full name is a bit of a mouthful, deoxyribonucleic acid, which is why, we all just call it DNA. And honestly, the best way to think about it is like the ultimate biological instruction manual. It's the master cookbook with every recipe needed to build and run a living thing.
And this is where things get just mind-blowing. This entire massive instruction manual is written with just 4 chemical letters: A, T, C, and G. That's it. Think about it. Our super powerful computers run on a binary code, zeros and ones. But life, in all its incredible complexity, runs on this simple 4-letter alphabet.
And it's not just a jumble of letters. There's a real structure here, a hierarchy. The letters are read in 3-letter groups called codons. Those are like the words. A whole string of those words makes up a sentence, which we call a gene. And each gene is basically just a recipe telling the cell how to build a specific protein. And proteins are the little machines that do pretty much all the work in our bodies.
And this system is just unbelievably efficient. The specific sequence of those 3 billion letters is what makes you who you are. The information is packed in so tightly that just 1 gram of DNA could theoretically store over 200 million gigabytes of data. I mean, that's more movies than you could ever stream in 100 lifetimes, all packed into something you literally can't even see.
But, okay, what good is an instruction manual if you can only make 1 copy? So how does life make sure this enormous blueprint gets passed on accurately, not just from cell to cell, but from one generation to the next?
Well, whenever one of your cells needs to divide, it first pulls off this incredible copy-paste job called replication. That famous double helix structure unzips right down the middle. Each half then becomes a template, and new letters just lock right into place, creating 2 perfect copies from the original one.
Okay, and this is a really crucial point. We have to separate 2 different ideas here. As you can see, replication is all about making identical copies to keep one body running. The goal is consistency, identity. But inheritance, that's about making a new, totally unique combination for the next generation. The goal there is variation.
And this is where inheritance comes in, through sexual reproduction. Special cells, sperm and egg, are made that only have half of the DNA. When they combine, they create a brand new cell with a full set of instructions, a genetic blueprint that has never existed before. And get this, will never exist again.
But wait, it's not just a simple 50-50 split. It's not like just mixing 2 colors of paint. This is where the real magic happens, where your incredible uniqueness is born.
The main engine of all this uniqueness is a process called genetic recombination. When those sperm and egg cells are being made, your parents' chromosomes actually line up next to each other and swap pieces. Think of it exactly like shuffling a deck of cards, a genetic deck of cards. And the result is a hand that no one has ever been dealt before.
And this, to me, is just one of the coolest ideas in all of biology. It means the chromosome you got from your mom isn't the exact one she has. No, it's a totally new mashup, a unique remix of the DNA from her parents, your grandparents. This happens every single generation, constantly shuffling the deck and creating new possibilities. Okay, so you've got recombination, which is shuffling the cards that are already in the deck. But then there's this other force, mutation. And mutation is what actually adds brand new cards to the deck in the first place.
So, what is a mutation? Well, it's really just a change in the DNA sequence. The easiest way to think about it is like a typo in that giant 3 billion letter instruction manual. Now, most of them don't do anything, but they are the ultimate source of all new traits.
So where do these typos come from? Well, a couple of places. Sometimes a tiny mistake just happens when the DNA is being copied. It's an amazing process, but it's not absolutely perfect. And other times, the DNA can get damaged by something from the outside, like UV radiation from the sun.
Okay, let's step back for a second. What's the big picture here? When you put all these pieces together, what do you get? What's the grand design?
It all boils down to these just three, master functions. First, DNA stores a massive library of information with incredible density. Second, it has a fantastic system for copying and passing on that information. And third, and this is so important, it has built-in ways to change, which allows for both unique individuals and, over the long haul, evolution.
And that right there, that's the heart of the whole thing. You've got two kinds of change happening. That constant shuffling, recombination, is what makes you a one-of-a-kind individual, different from everyone else. But that slow, random sprinkling of typos, mutations, that's what provides the brand new material that fuels the entire engine of evolution over millions of years.
So when you really stop and think about it, this simple, elegant, four-letter code, it's behind everything. Every living thing on this planet. It's the system that made you. And that leaves us with one last pretty big question to think about. What on earth is it going to create next?